Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're going to take a look here at SNX, which is a request from one of my patrons, Chris. Thank you very much for requesting I cover this. If you're not already a patron, consider checking that out. See if you might like it. I send out signals for every single trade that I take. And more importantly, we have a private chat group and we're all learning and growing together to become more successful and better traders. That's my goal here for these videos, is to help educate you become more self-sufficient. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here at Bitcoin first. And one thing to note here, of course, is the fact that this support channel here, this big green bar that you can see, is essentially just 53,800 upwards of 56,000. It's a channel that essentially anytime the price comes into, it gets rejected and comes right back up. Because simply put, we have a tremendous amount of volume in this this time frame here. So take a look at this here. Look at how much volume is right here in this section. So we see the most amount of volume at right about 55,000. That creates a very strong support level. So I like to kind of identify that, share that with my patrons, but also help you understand that 56,000 is a new support level, and it just got reaffirmed here 2 days in a row. So it closed previously there, and it closed yesterday as well above that. So all in all, looking very, very good. Okay, so Bitcoin's in good shape here. The only thing we need to do is break this resistance of 57,500, and then we'll be off to the races. I think it's just a matter of time, because the more often you knock on a door, the more likely it is to break, right? Or at least you pound the door in, right? That's essentially what's happening here, is trying to pound the 57,500 door into the upper tier. Then we can go ahead and see 60, 64,000 plus, etc. And, break out from there. We'll see what happens, obviously, but Bitcoin's in really good shape. That's just kind of the preface here. All right, so taking a look at the one-day chart here for SNX. Let's go ahead and start with the moving averages, kind of see where we're at. We're under the 50 and the 200, so not fantastic. I don't love this, but I do like the simple fact that SNX is very low and affordable, for lack of better terms, because I do know that this coin has very good potential to ramp up. It's done very good in the past, post sell-offs. Like, keep in mind, right now, a lot of the Bitcoin dominance is going straight to Bitcoin, right? So it dominates almost 50% of the market right now. When that dominance is so high, altcoins like this get overlooked, right? So I try to help you understand that by mentioning that, because this coin was doing very well leading up to the Bitcoin, I guess you could say taking all the market capitalization, because everyone just wants Bitcoin right now. That's just kind of the foundation of what's going on. It's like, oh, okay, we're gonna see six figures from Bitcoin this year. I'm gonna get my piece. Well, until new money comes into altcoins and we start seeing some altcoins taking off, then we're going to experience a lot of these, 2 to 300 or 1 to 300 sized market capitalization coins getting overlooked. The top 10 essentially are doing really well, right? ADA, BNB, DOT just took off here today. Of course, there were some fundamentals there, but generally speaking, a lot of the larger market cap coins are taking all of the volume. Therefore, I feel like SNX will have a stay. It just won't be right now or right away. I think in the coming months, November, December, yeah, we're going to see it take off and probably, try to test its previous all-time high. I feel comfortable saying that based on its history and how well it's done, contrary to the selling off points, right? So just something to note there. Just want to kind of highlight that before we get in here. So taking a look at the RSI, right? So keep in mind, this is not a great sign, not like it's terrible, but when you see the price staying under, it's basically stuck under the 50, right? When anything between 50 and 30, it's considered bearish divergence essentially, so bearish sentiment. And we could even see it continue to break even further, because there is a bit of a pattern here forming. Again, it's not terrible. We could likely see it break upwards too, but generally speaking, these are little things you can kind of identify on the RSI. But simply put, you see that long time frame under 50 basically means it's oversold, which again, good value, right? But the expectation of it just like ramping up tomorrow is pretty low, right? So just keep that in mind. We also got, well, we could actually see a convergence here on the MACD. It could shift back upwards, but again, there's nothing really I see here on the one-day chart that's speaking to me about, like, yes, this is going to blow up. I know I sent out a signal on this a couple months ago back in August, but it was doing very well in August. It was ready to take off. But we had that El Salvador candle that really screwed things over in September, right as soon as the month started, and we got some reverse action from a lot of coins that got called out. I think most of them are still valid and still good. This one is still a good coin. I might recommend even averaging your price down, considering adding to your position right now if you have a higher position. But the bottom line, you got to expect that this isn't going to turn around today, right? You should be able to recover your cost, but I don't think you're going to recover it today or even this month. I think a couple months down the road, totally feasible, right? Most altcoins, I think we're going to see that. But SNX is one of them that has a tendency of taking off and doing well. Either way, let's go ahead and take a quick look here. We're again under both moving averages, not excellent. We're still under RSI on the 4-hour as well. So honestly, not much to note here. We did have a convergence recently, but that wasn't like a strong convergence. But regardless, it is one nonetheless. So why don't we do this? We'll confirm on the ISHIMOCLOUD to see if that carries over. If we got that double rainbow effect that I like to refer to it as, then it might be a good consideration to go along here based on the fact that we have that shift in momentum, right? So when you look at the MACD here, you see all this red. That's basically the bearish volume. So that's all the volume going to the bears. And now the shift in momentum has occurred, right? So the last 12 hours, we've seen the bulls effectively take control of the market. So that's a good sign. That is a silver lining here. Now let's quickly identify that was what at, was it 900? Hold on. Yeah, 5 a.m. today. So let's go ahead and just mark that really quick. And if you're new to the channel, you might be wondering what I'm doing, but I like to mark the MACD convergence on the 4-hour chart and then kind of compare it with the ISHIMOCLOUD on the 1-hour chart. I think it's helpful to do that because it really helps you understand if you're in the right direction here. Because if we're still into the cloud, we might want to wait. Okay, we're almost out of the cloud. That's a good sign. So if you're new to the cloud, it's referred to as the ISHIMOCLOUD. It's a very messy, I guess you could say indicator because there's a lot going on. But if you just disable the first 5 leads and baselines, then you'll get this nice little plot background. And this basically tells you when the price is above, it's considered a buy signal. When it's below, it's considered a sell signal. So we're coming right up on this potential buy signal here, especially in the sense we just got a MACD convergence. So everything I saw on the 1-day chart, even though those all look very bearish, these single indicators here are screaming bullish momentum, right? So keep in mind, the price hasn't broken above the ISHIMOCLOUD yet. Once it does, it may not even just go shooting straight up, but it will likely continue to progress upwards. That's the general concept. Because if you look here, this is a state of consolidation, really hard to identify there. But when there's a divergence, right? So we had probably a MACD divergence here, a bearish divergence right at this point. When the price comes down and it's below the cloud, it's considered a sell signal, right? If you had shorted there, you would have made a decent amount. That would have got about 10%. Obviously, look back here again. Hindsight's 20/20. I totally get that. But look, anytime it breaks above the cloud, it goes on a pretty decent run, right? And most of these times when it breaks above the cloud, the MACD is converging at the same time, or at least when it does, at least when it has a strong break, you'll see a convergence on the MACD. So just something I like to point out, the fact that this does have a MACD convergence that just happened 12 hours ago, and the price is traveling through the cloud to potentially break above it, those are really, really good signs. So we're like a rainbow and a half, if that makes sense, right? Not quite double, but almost there. So Chris, I think you're in pretty good shape here to consider adding to your position. I think I might just as well do that also because the simple fact that I can see that this is probably going to go up from here. It shouldn't go much lower. I think the possibility that's going lower is pretty low, right? So why don't we just go and identify some quick support and resistance zones and kind of see where we're at here. I usually like to do that at the beginning, but I can just go ahead and recover that with this here. I know I went off on a tangent about Bitcoin, but $15 is effectively the resistance here in this most recent run. We've got a previous high here, of course, and obviously one prior to that. So we'll just go ahead and mark the major ones that kind of stick out at us. And then we also want to make sure to identify good support levels. So it's pretty obvious the price has been responding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus. All right, so 8 times over, we've seen the price hold at $9.20. Okay, so again, plus or minus, right around 910, 920 is a pretty strong support. And we're right there, and we just had a convergence on the MACD on the 4-hour chart, and we're breaking above the cloud, potentially breaking above the cloud on the 1-hour. So all good things there. I like what I see here so far. So generally speaking, we're going to have this channel right now, right? We're going to be breaking upwards towards 15. If we can break 15, I think we'll be on to $23. So what I'll be doing too is I'll be updating my my previous signals that I sent out to reflect more accurate price predictions because this didn't take off the way that I expected. So we got to catch that second wave, which is essentially the altcoin season that'll occur here soon once the large market cap coins take off. We're going to see those happen first. Anything that's sub 100, I would say sub 50 more so. And then anything that's just say 50 or higher market capitalization starts to kind of take off after that. We should expect that in November, December. Again, once Bitcoin dominance tapers off, we're going to start seeing those large market cap coins take off. And then we're going to see the low cap coins. But all in all, this is pretty much as low as you can get. I mean, I know there were some one-offs here down at 577, but that was after a major runoff. That's when Bitcoin was sub 30,000. I don't think we're going to see that kind of price point again. So SNX is definitely in a position right now where you'd probably want to consider adding to your position. We want to pay attention to that ISHIMOCLOUD though, right? If it doesn't break above, it may not, this MACD convergence in the 4-hour chart could just be for nothing. But those are two very strong indicators that worked well together. I think it's worth considering. So anyways, back to my predictions here. Big picture, I would say in the near future, the next 2 to 4 weeks, we're going to see $15 get tested and likely broken. And then I would say 2 to 4 weeks after that, maybe even 2 months, just say by year end, I would recommend considering that $23 to $25 would be even though that's a nice resistance channel, that'll at least be tested by then. Okay. So for lack of better terms, if you're investing in here at around $9, we should see a strong return on investment in a couple of months. We could likely see a 2x on this coin this year. Okay. And obviously, we break its all-time high and we keep pushing higher, we should see something $28 plus, and we'll be off to the races, obviously. But until then, I would say proceed with caution. Respect the resistance levels here, but also understand that we have a really strong support level where the price is at right now, and we just converge on the MACD. All good things if you ask me. I personally feel like I'm bullish on SNX at this point. So thank you so much for joining me here today. If you find benefit, like and subscribe. Also reference my Patreon community as well, so you can kind of stay in the know with coins like these that I send out signals for: swing trades, hodl trades, day trades. I send out signals as soon as I make them, and I take them. You can follow along with a bot, one-click follow. Really cool stuff. All right, check that out in your own time. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.